You weren't aware of it. You drove in to be a part of. You knew. I mean, there's saying I'm aware of whatever. Y'all came into town with.
Can I rephrase myself?
You probably should real quick because hang on.
I was not at the crime scene.
Hold on.
In the pursuit of truth, we analyze the law. This is Justice Clash 24.
Ms. Vizia, you were previously in court and entered a plea of guilty to burglary of a habitation, a second-degree felony. This is 24 DCCR 1364. The agreement was for a cap of 7 years in prison. I've received the pre-sentence report and reviewed it. Has everyone had an opportunity to review it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir, we have.
Any additions or corrections?
I've reviewed the PSI with Zulie. I know that obviously her version, the court has questions about that, and so I would allow her to address that if she does wish to move forward in hopes of obviously us arguing for the probation.
So here's the thing. If you say you didn't do it, you don't get to say I didn't do it, but please give me probation, because then you're not accepting responsibility. So either you did it, what they charged you with, or you didn't. And doing it doesn't mean that you participated fully, and I'm sure Ms. Holmes has explained to you the law of parties in Texas and what that means. But if you say somebody took your car and you weren't even there and you had no idea of it, then that's what juries are for. Because you are about to take the chance, if we go forward, of me sending you to prison for 7 years. Me possibly giving you probation. But I can assure you that you're not going to get any kind of help from me if you get up here and say, well, I didn't really do it, but come on, give me probation. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me, if you want to go forward, tell me exactly what you did, what your part of this was.
I was aware of what my car was going to do. I didn't participate in the act, but I...
So you didn't drive your car?
No, I did not. I did not drive it at the scene where it happened.
Mr. Nichols, it appears that the...
If I'm explaining myself,
I think what she was trying to say, Your Honor, she wasn't present at the scene of the burglary, but let them use her car and I guess drove them close by. Because we know she was pulled over driving that vehicle on the way.
I mean, there's cameras from Lieutenant Hudson's cameras that confirm that you were driving when you were stopped.
yes.
With the other guy seated in the front seat.
I was in town when it happened, but I was not at the scene.
So, yeah.
So when did he get in your car?
When they brought it to the crime scene, but I was not at the crime scene.
I'm very confused.
So she drove here to Groves. She drove into town. She was aware of what was going to happen.
You weren't aware of it. You drove in to be a part of. You knew. I mean, there's saying I'm aware of whatever. Y'all came into town with.
Can I rephrase myself?
You probably should real quick because hang on.
I was not at the crime scene.
Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Because y'all came into town with radio jammers and fully ready with medical mask and face mask and all this stuff to come in from out of town to do what you did here in our town. And so you weren't just riding along and then they said, oh, by the way, sorry you came with us, we're going to do this.
Okay, well, I drove because I'm the one that had the license, so in case we got pulled over.
Okay.
I was not at the scene.
So you brought them to do the crime.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not that hard to say.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't know how to rephrase myself. I'm sorry.
All right. Ms. Holmes, go ahead with the argument.
Yes, Your Honor. She does not have an extensive criminal history. As you can see, there is one prior looks like a theft of property, which she received 6 months state jail. And then there was a federal case as well back in 2020. Ms. Zulie is currently employed and working. She would like the opportunity to continue that with probation. She does care for family members as well, Your Honor, for a household. As indicated in the PSI, they do have her at a low risk level, which I believe is indicative that she would be successful on probation if given that opportunity.
If you're still watching, hit like. It helps us bring more real courtroom moments like this.
To
Right.
do that, and we don't know where they are.
So do you know why y'all came to this house?
I have no idea. The only reason that I came into town was because I'm the one that had the license. So in case they got pulled over, they didn't have a way, to prove their legal.
How many other times did they have you drive you to other places?
No, that was the only time I did it, and I regret it. It was crazy.
Your Honor, if I may, I had the co-defendant's case. The victim in this particular instance was a local business owner, owned a donut shop. They also owned a donut shop and forgive me if I'm off on this, the exact city, I think it's somewhere in Humble, or nearby in Humble. That business, their home in that city was also burglarized.
Right. So, right. Thank you,
I
Mr.
can assure you I was not involved in any other situation that had to do with them. It was just a one-time thing.
How did you know these guys?
Well, basically, one is my barber. The one that's doing time, he's my barber.
He's your brother?
Barber, yes.
What about the other two that took off?
Love true courtroom stories? Subscribe now. New cases every week.
I never knew them.
So where do you live now?
I live in Houston, Texas. Yeah, Houston, Texas. Mm-hmm.
Do you work?
It's my
Where-
50 hours a week.
For what? For who?
It's integral. It's basically for the state. I get paid $25 an hour.
To do what? I'm sorry?
I don't know how to describe it. It's like solar panels. It's for the state.
Okay.
I have evidence as well.
You have what?
Evidence that I'm working there.
Okay.
Before that, I was working at a car wash, but they offered me more there.
So, I don't disagree with Lieutenant Hudson or with Mr. Nichols because of what happened and the targeted way that this happened. It does appear that the guys were probably in charge of most of this. You made a really, really stupid decision.
Yeah. And I regret it.
Yeah. All right, what I'm inclined to do, because what you're charged with is a second-degree felony. So the range of punishment is up to 20 years if you went to jury, or all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to defer all proceedings and place you on probation for 10 years. You're going to be ordered to pay a $1,000 fine and to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. So let me explain what that means and why that's good for you, but probably more so for me, and why I'm doing this. So a deferred probation means you don't have this conviction on your record. But what it also means is if you violate any condition of probation, you will be brought back into court, found guilty, so you have the felony conviction, and that cap of 7's gone. I have the full range of punishment between 2 years and up to 20 years. And certain cases, for whatever reason, the fact that this one, I remember it from Mr. Coleman's case, from the co-defendant, I'm likely to remember it. It's never good when I remember things, okay? And so I'm going to order also that you obviously have no contact or communication with any of the co-defendants. If they've fled the country, whatever, if they come back, if they try to contact you, you cannot have any contact with them. In fact, I'm ordering, if they contact you, that you contact your probation officer and law enforcement and let them know any information that you have about where they are. You will be, I want her on the medium-high caseload to start off with. It means you're going to be reporting more often, making sure you get off on the right track.
I work like an hour from my house, so I leave the house at 2:30 and come back home at 2:30 in the morning.
So talk to probation. I want you to work, okay? And so you need to get them documentation of your schedule, because there will be a curfew except for employment purposes. You'll be required to report in Harris County, but you're also going to be required to report by mail or online here. So you kind of have double duty. You've got to do it all. If you don't report by mail or online here, it's a violation. If you don't go in person there, it's a violation. If you don't give them proof of where you are when you're supposed to be, it's a violation. If you test positive for any drugs, whatever it is, you're going to be on a high caseload so that I know, at least for some time, that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And if you don't, you will be right back in here. Do you understand? All right, I'm going to hand you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. You need to have a seat here in the courtroom